Under Finance, 2017-18 Budget Report. Administration will update the board on the development of the district's 2017-18 budget. This item provides an opportunity for the board's information and discussion.
Welcome again.
Good evening. Good evening, President Rohde, Vice President Arnold, Superintendent Dr. Thompson. I don't have a formal presentation tonight, but I do have an update for the board on where we sit for fiscal year 18 budget planning purposes. Of course, we are waiting on a decision from the Supreme Court. On July 18th, oral arguments were heard as to whether Senate Bill 19, the school funding formula, is constitutional as it relates to adequacy and equity. As of today, we still do not have an answer from the Supreme Court, so we are still waiting on that final decision. We have been working under the assumption that Senate Bill 19 is the finance formula, and as of Friday late morning, the Kansas Department of Education did release its budget forms under that same structure. So I've got now all boots on the ground working on budget forms. Again, working under that assumption that this is the funding formula that we will have go forward, and that will be our approach unless we hear something different from the court in the next week. So our plan at this point is to crunch through as much as we can. We are going to try to make a Monday board presentation available. I'll know a little bit more as we proceed through the week. It is possible we may come back and ask for a special session if we can't have those numbers put together by Monday. That's a lot of figures in a one-week period, and we certainly want to make sure it's accurate as we move forward. Certainly that focus on getting that mill levy to you for review, that's important. Trying to get to that August 25th deadline. So we just may be coming to you with that request. The time actually has been spent very well. We do have a group that's working on at-risk, and we'll be bringing to you some information on what we're doing in particular to that fund and the scrutiny that the legislature is putting on that fund. And certainly we heard that in some of the oral testimony at the Supreme Court hearing. That has a lot of the same people you've heard from tonight are sitting on that same team, and it's being led by Mr. Terrell Davis. So we're very excited to be bringing to you kind of what our redesign plan for that fund and some new initiatives we have proposed for what we're doing in at-risk. We're trying to establish that floor of what is now allowed under the guidelines, and then where we can build from there, as we're going to be required to get some matching of performance and making headway with that lowest 25% and what we're doing with the funding. So I think we're going to have some really good news to share with you here in a few weeks. But certainly we are going to work very diligently to try to make a Monday deadline for you. We should have a little bit better idea later in the week, and we'll work with Dr. Willoughby to communicate what our needs are. Any questions on that?
Cheryl.
For the public, I would like for you to review the timeline of what we're under, because we're under a timeline like we've not seen before.
Right. I mean, I've talked to staff, and we've had very tight timelines in the past, but this one's pretty unique. We are working under the August 25th deadline to get the budget to Sedgwick County so that they can apply a mill levy. I think I shared with you at one of the earlier board meetings that Sedgwick County's been very firm with that date. And we're not the only district that's received that information. My counterparts in Goddard and a few of the other districts have also received the same answer. So that's the date we're utilizing. Basically, we work back 10 days from that date as far as having to have it published in the paper. So you can see if we've got really between the 7th and about the 10th to try to get something to you so we can get this in the paper to meet that 10 working day or a calendar day deadline to get to that August 25th date. So it will all kind of depend on how things proceed this week, and then where we think we are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, how soon we can get it to you so that we have that turnaround to get it into the newspaper for publication. So we're confident we'll make our August 25th deadline, but we're going to be working a lot of hours to get it done. And these forms are very unique. It's a very complex system, but only one person can actually enter into the forms at a time, which not necessarily the most productive design, but that's what we're faced with, and we'll work on it during the day. We review it at night. We have staff then rekeying during the day. We review at night, make changes. So that's what our next week and a half looks like.